A 21-year-old seminarian starts having nightmares about souls falling into hell. Night after night, he watches helplessly as young boys slip into eternal darkness. These weren't anxiety dreams. They were prophecies that would define his entire mission. The Miracles and Prophecies of St. Don Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Adrian Fonseca. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Welcome to the Miracles and Prophecies of St. Don Bosco. I'm Adrian Fonseca. These videos exist to share timeless wisdom from St. Don Bosco that can transform your spiritual life today. Today's story reveals how Don Bosco's recurring nightmares about lost souls led him to discover his true calling, and how one summer teaching the wealthy elite completely redirected his life's mission. But first, let me take you back to 1836, when a young Don Bosco had a terrifying prophecy. Picture Don Bosco at 21 years old. Brilliant, ambitious, absolutely burning to master Greek? Why Greek? Well, because it's the language of the New Testament, and many of the early church fathers. But then cholera hits Naples, hard. The Jesuits scrambled to relocate hundreds of students to Montaldo, a safe haven near where Don Bosco lives. But they needed teachers. Immediately, Don Cavasso recommends his young protege, and suddenly Don Bosco is teaching Greek to the sons of Italy's wealthiest families. Now, most seminarians would struggle through basic Greek with a dictionary, but not Don Bosco. Under Father Beanie's guidance, he translated nearly the entire New Testament in 4 months. 4 months. Decades later, he could still recite entire chapters of St. Paul's letters in Latin and Greek, completely from memory. During his 3 months at Montaldo, Don Bosco did more than just teach Greek. He also oversaw a dormitory, so he's living among the nobility. Noble young men with culture, status, influence, everything that society values. But for the first time, Don Bosco sees their struggles up close. He watches wealthy families pour resources into their sons' education. He sees the comfort, the privilege, and the opportunities. And he realizes, this isn't where God's calling him. Years later, someone asks if he'll establish colleges for noble youth. Don Bosco's answer is immediate and absolute. This? No. It will never be. As long as I live, it will never be. That would be our ruin. Why such a firm stance? It's not because he disdained nobility. He loved and supported them completely. But because God was showing that he had something different in mind. His heart belonged to the poor, the abandoned, the forgotten, the souls that everyone else overlooked. And God drives this message home through dreams. Terrible dreams. He dreams of countless boys laughing and praying, then suddenly swept away by dark forces because no one warned them. He sees narrow, steep paths to salvation filled with traps and snares where souls slip into eternal ruin. He watches helplessly as young people fall one after another into darkness. Night after night, these visions haunt him. Boys without families, without guidance, without hope, tumbling into hell because no one reached them in time. The dreams are so vivid, so terrifying that he wakes up shaky. God is showing him exactly who needs him the most. Not the wealthy students of Montaldo, but the street children, the orphans, the forgotten boys that no one else cares about. The ones falling into eternal darkness because no one was there to catch them. But now young John has a massive problem. After 3 months of teaching day and night at Montaldo, he returns to seminary utterly exhausted, and his exams are coming. The exams that determine whether he continues toward priesthood or gets sent home. He hasn't had time to study at all. You're watching this video because Don Bosco's nightmares of souls falling into hell, right? Those prophetic dreams that kept him awake at night, showing him young people slipping into eternal darkness because no one prayed for them, no one sacrificed for them. But here's my question for you. When you think about the souls in your own life, your children, your spouse, your friends who've fallen away from the faith, what are you doing to spiritually support them? Don Bosco knew those dreams were a call to action. He couldn't just watch the souls fall. He had to pray, to sacrifice, to intercede. And one of the most powerful ways he did that was through the holy sacrifice of the Mass. You could do the same thing. When you become a monthly promoter of St. John Bosco, a daily traditional Catholic Mass is offered for you and your intentions, every single day of the year. Think about that. You may not be able to attend Mass every day. You have to go to work, you're dealing with life struggles, but the holy sacrifice of the Mass is being offered for the people you are worried about. Maybe sign someone else up as a gift to them. I certainly feel better knowing that my name and my intentions are being prayed for daily. That there's a Catholic priest offering up the holy sacrifice of the Mass for me and the souls that I care about. So click the link in the description box down below and sign up to become a monthly promoter of St. John Bosco today. Now let me tell you about what happened when John Bosco walked into that exam room completely unprepared. He grabs his metaphysics manual. He opens up to the sections that he's going to be examined on, sections that he's never actually heard explained in class, and he teaches himself right there in the last minutes. Then he walks into the examination room and aces it. How? Was it talent? Was it willpower? Was it divine grace? Or maybe it was all of the above. Well, Don Bosco believed it was divine grace, a direct answer to his constant prayers during those grueling months. God was showing him, I'll provide what you need when you need it. Trust me. And here's what's beautiful about his seminary years, from Don Bosco's own words. In the seminary, I have been very fortunate and have always enjoyed the affection of my companions and that of my superiors. For the 6 years I spent there, God blessed me, and I was always favored with the prize for study and moral conduct. When he finally left seminary, his classmates begged him to come back. That's the kind of impact that he had. God uses everything, even our exhaustion, our struggles, our nightmares, to clarify our mission. John Bosco went to Montaldo thinking that he'd master Greek and advance his education. Instead, God showed him exactly where his heart belonged. Among nobility, he discovered his calling was to the poor. Through terrifying dreams, he learned which souls desperately needed saving. And through impossible exams, he experienced that God provides. He experienced this firsthand. So what is God trying to show you through your current struggles? And before you go, I want to recommend another video that perfectly complements today's story. It's called Overthinking Led Don Bosco to This Miraculous Dream. Years after these nightmares about lost souls, Don Bosco faced another moment of agonizing uncertainty. Whether to relocate his entire oratory. One night of anxious overthinking transformed into a divine prophetic vision. In that video, you'll discover how Our Lady herself appeared to give Don Bosco the exact blueprint for his mission. So click on the video on your screen right now. St. John Bosco, pray for us. May God bless you, and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. God love you.